I thought I was building a future with the love of my life, but one knock on my door shattered everything. Now I'm questioning if I'm the asshole for wanting to walk away or if I'm the one who's been played all along. I'm Emily, 29, and for the past 5 years I've been with Jake, 31. We met in college back when I was juggling 2 jobs to pay for my nursing degree, and he was the charming, slightly lost guy in my econ class who could make anyone laugh. Jake was in a tough spot financially. His parents had cut him off after a falling out, and he was drowning in student loans. I didn't come from money either, but I'd saved every penny from waitressing and tutoring to get through school debt-free. When Jake proposed 2 years ago, it felt like the start of our forever. We dreamed of a small house, a dog, maybe kids someday. But life had other plans. Jake wanted to go back to school for a master's in engineering, a degree that could change his career and our future. The catch? It cost $40,000 and he had no way to pay for it. I saw how much it meant to him, how his eyes lit up talking about designing sustainable energy systems. So I made a choice. I drained my savings, every cent I'd scrimped for a down payment on that dream to cover his tuition. I told myself it was an investment in us. He promised to pay me back once he landed a job, and I trusted him. Why wouldn't I? He was my fiancé, my partner, my best friend. Fast forward to last month. Jake graduated and I was so proud. I threw him a little party at our apartment, just us and a few friends, toasting to his new chapter. He was applying for jobs and we were planning our wedding for next summer. Everything felt perfect until 3 weeks ago, when my world turned upside down. It was a Saturday morning, and I was making coffee when someone knocked on our door. Jake was out grabbing bagels, so I opened it, expecting a neighbor or a delivery. Instead, there was a woman standing there, mid-30s, with a toddler clutching her hand. The kid had Jake's hazel eyes. My stomach dropped. "Are you Emily?" she asked, her voice shaky but firm. I nodded, barely able to speak. "I'm Sarah. This is Noah, Jake's son." I froze. The room spun. I must have looked like I'd seen a ghost because Sarah softened and said, "I'm so sorry to do this. I didn't know about you until last week." She explained that she and Jake had a fling 6 years ago before we met. She got pregnant, told him, but he said he wasn't ready to be a father and cut contact. She raised Noah alone, never asking for a dime, until she recently moved to our city for work and ran into Jake at a coffee shop. He admitted he was engaged, and she decided I deserved to know the truth. I don't even remember inviting her in, but suddenly we were sitting on my couch, Noah playing with a toy truck on the floor, while Sarah showed me a paternity test from last year confirming Jake was the father. She wasn't asking for anything, just wanted me to know who I was marrying. I felt like I was drowning. Jake had a son? And he never told me? When Jake got home, bagels in hand, he saw Sarah and Noah and went white as a sheet. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just asked, "Is this true?" He stammered, then admitted it. He said he didn't tell me because he was ashamed and thought Sarah had handled it. Handled it? Like a kid is a problem you just sweep away? I asked him to leave, and he did, mumbling apologies. Sarah left too, saying she'd give me space to process. I was a mess. I'd given up my savings for this man, supported him through school, planned a life with him, and he'd kept this massive secret. I felt betrayed, not just by Jake but by my own judgment. How could I not have seen this? I posted about it on Reddit, asking if I was the asshole for considering ending the engagement. The responses poured in. Most said I was NTA, that Jake's lie was unforgivable, but a few asked if I'd talked to him about why he hid it, if maybe he was scared of losing me. That stuck with me, gnawing at my resolve. Update 1, the twist that broke me. A week after the bombshell, Jake begged to talk. I agreed, mostly because I needed answers. We met at a park, neutral ground, and he looked like he hadn't slept in days. He swore he never meant to hurt me, that he was young and stupid when Sarah got pregnant and he panicked. He said he'd been trying to make it right since running into her. even sending her money for Noah behind my back. That stung was using my money, the tuition I'd paid for, to support a kid he never told me about. I asked why he didn't trust me enough to be honest. He said he was terrified I'd leave him, that I was too good for him. It sounded sincere, but it also felt like manipulation. I told him I needed time and left. Then came the twist. 2 days later, I got a call from my older brother, Matt, who I hadn't spoken to in years. We drifted apart after a fight over our parents' estate, long story, but he'd taken their side when they tried to guilt me into giving up my share. Out of nowhere, Matt said he'd seen my Reddit post, I guess it got some traction, and wanted to check on me. He apologized for our past, said he'd been following my life through mutual friends, and knew how much I'd sacrificed for Jake. Then he dropped a bomb. He'd run into Jake at a bar a year ago, and Jake had been drunk, bragging about locking down a woman who'd pay for everything. Matt didn't tell me then because he didn't want to meddle, but now he felt guilty. Was Jake using me all along? That conversation flipped a switch. I'd been wrestling with whether to forgive Jake, but now I wondered if his love was just a long con. I confronted him over text, and he denied it, swearing Matt was lying to sabotage us. But the seed was planted, and I couldn't unsee it. I told Jake we were done. He cried, begged, even showed up at my work, but I held firm. I felt like I was losing not just him but the future I'd built in my head. Update 2. The redemption I didn't expect. It's been a month since I ended things. I was ready to close this chapter, lick my wounds, and move on. But life had one more curveball. Last week Sarah reached out. She asked to meet and I agreed, mostly out of curiosity. Over coffee she apologized again for blindsiding me and shared something I didn't see coming. Jake had started visiting Noah. Not just visit, she was taking parenting classes, setting up a savings account for Noah's future, and even quit his new job to take one closer to Sarah's place so he could be more involved. She showed me a picture of Jake teaching Noah how to ride a tricycle, and damn it, I cried. Not for Jake, but for that little boy who deserved a dad. Sarah said she didn't tell me to change my mind about Jake, she just thought I should know he was trying to be better. She also admitted she'd been scared to reach out initially, worried I'd hate her for ruining my life. I told her I didn't blame her. She'd done the right thing. We talked for hours, and I realized Noah wasn't just Jake's kid, was a sweet, curious 3-year-old who loved dinosaurs and made me laugh when he zoomed his toy truck across the table. I don't know if I'll ever forgive Jake, but meeting Noah softened something in me. Now I'm at a crossroads. I'm not taking Jake back, trust is gone, and Matt's story still haunts me. But I've been thinking about Noah. Sarah's a single mom, and I know how hard that is. My own mom raised me and Matt alone. I offered to babysit sometimes, maybe take Noah to the park. Sarah teared up and said she'd love that. Reddit, AIT for wanting to stay in Noah's life. Even after everything? I gave up so much for Jake. And now I'm wondering if the real gift was finding a way to make a difference for this kid. I don't know what's next, but for the first time in weeks I feel a flicker of hope.